Long ago, there lived a king who was known throughout the land for his wisdom. Nothing seemed hidden from him. People said that even the most secret things reached him as if carried by the wind. It was whispered that the king believed a certain rare dish granted him deeper understanding. Each day after dinner, when the table had been cleared and no one else remained, a faithful servant brought him one final covered plate. No one knew what lay beneath the lid. Not even the servant. And the king would uncover it only when he was entirely alone. This continued for many years. One day, curiosity stirred in the servant's heart. After the meal, he carried the covered dish quietly to his room. He locked the door. Then, slowly, he lifted the lid. Inside lay a white snake. He hesitated. Then he cut off the smallest piece and tasted it. The moment it touched his tongue, a soft whisper rose outside the window. He listened carefully. It was the sparrows. They were speaking together about all they had seen in the fields and forests. In that instant, he understood. The white snake had given him the gift of hearing the language of animals. That very same day, the queen lost her most beautiful ring. Suspicion fell upon the servant, for he was trusted and allowed everywhere in the palace. The king summoned him. "If by tomorrow you cannot name the thief," the king declared, "you shall bear the blame yourself." The servant spoke honestly of his innocence, but his words brought him no comfort. Full of worry, he walked into the courtyard. Near a quiet brook, several ducks rested together. As they smoothed their feathers, they spoke softly. The servant listened. One duck sighed. "Something lies heavy within me," she said. "In my haste this morning, I swallowed a ring beneath the queen's window." At once, the servant understood. The duck was taken to the kitchen for examination. And there, within her, the queen's ring was found. The servant's innocence was proven. The king, wishing to make amends, offered him wealth and high honor at court. But the young man asked for something else. He asked only for a horse and a little money for travel. He wished to see the world and learn from it. His request was granted, and so he began his journey. One day, he came upon a pond. 3 fish were trapped among the reeds, struggling for water. Though fish are said to be silent, he heard their quiet distress. With kindness, he lifted them gently and returned them to the pond. They swam in joyful circles. "We will remember you," they said. "One good turn deserves another." He rode on. After a time, he heard a tiny voice beneath his horse's steps. It was the Ant King. "Please guide your heavy horse aside," cried the Ant King. "His steps are harming my people." The young traveler at once turned onto a softer path. "We will remember you," said the ants. Further along the forest road, he saw 2 old ravens beside their nest. Their young had fallen to the ground. The fledglings were weak and could not yet fly. The traveler felt deep compassion. He made a difficult sacrifice. He gave up the horse that had carried him, so that the young ravens might live. The birds were saved. "We will remember you," they promised. Now he continued on foot. After many days, he reached a great city filled with noise and movement. A royal messenger proclaimed, "The king's daughter seeks a husband. But whoever asks for her hand must complete a task. Failure will cost him his life." Many had tried. None had succeeded. When the traveler saw the princess, her beauty stirred something steady and brave within him. He stepped forward. The first task was set. A golden ring was thrown into the sea. He must bring it back from the depths. Standing alone upon the shore, he wondered how such a thing could be done. Then 3 fish rose from the water. They were the very fish he had once saved. One carried a mussel in its mouth. Inside the shell lay the golden ring. Grateful and astonished, he brought it to the king. But the princess was not yet ready to yield. She scattered 10 sacks of millet seed across the garden grass. By sunrise, she said, every grain must be gathered. Not one may be missing. The task seemed impossible. Yet when morning light touched the garden, the sacks stood filled. Not a single grain was lost. Through the quiet night, the Ant King and his countless people had worked together. Still, the princess spoke once more. Bring me an apple from the tree of life. The young man did not know where such a tree could be found. Yet he set out again. He walked through forests, through distant lands, through doubt and hope alike. One evening, as he rested beneath the tree, a soft rustle moved through the branches. A golden apple fell gently into his hand. 3 ravens descended beside him. We are the young ravens you once saved, they said. When we grew strong, we flew across the sea, to the far edge of the world where the tree of life stands. We have brought this apple for you. Filled with quiet gratitude, he returned to the kingdom. This time, the princess could no longer deny what she saw. She saw not his birth, but his heart. They cut the apple in 2. They shared it together. And as they did, something within her changed. Pride softened. Respect grew. And love followed. They lived side by side in harmony. For many long years. For kindness given freely returns in its own time. And sometimes, it changes not only fate, but the human heart itself.